Hey y'all, happy April. The birds are going, the lawnmowers are going. It is clearly spring. So I'm gonna make sure I start off spring right with this April garden tour. A lot of things are blooming here in my pink pathway. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you around the garden and show you a couple things, give you a couple inside scoops about what we have coming up for this year, and about it. I have to warn you, I did not clean or prep in any way. I said,
Nicolette,
myself said, huh? I said,
let's just be authentic about it.
Let's just show them what it is and how it is.
let's just get into it. Now I wanted to start today's garden tour in my pink pathway because if you've been following me here for a while, you'll know that this has been my baby since we moved into this house in 2020 or the end of 2019. It's all running together. So I literally was on my hands and knees digging out big boulders, making these garden beds. There's a couple videos that I can link if you want to see it from the very beginning, but there's a bunch of tulips and daffodils. Now again, this space could have definitely benefited from a little cleanup, but also you just want to be really authentic about the garden. It's not always pristine. Everything isn't always looking exactly how you want it to look, but it doesn't mean you can't enjoy the beautiful things that are popping up just the way that they are. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the space behind me. It's kind of a mess right now. A little bit of backstory on the space. I started in November, really just trying to get all of the weeds out, move a lot of the rocks that are clearly in this space. You can kind of see Daniel had built us a little fire pit at the bottom, which we'll have to move now that this is a lovely garden bed. So it was really just a lot of cleanup, trying to sort of rake it out, and then I planted a ton of spring bulbs here. And that's just the beginning. I'm really looking forward to watching this space transform. So funny story, these daffodils were supposed to be doubles and singles of the white daffodil with the pink or apricot throat. I actually have a couple of them that I'll show you. So I planted them all on this hill thinking, wow, that'll work beautifully in my pink pathway. And as you can see, they did not turn out to be that. I think the bag was mislabeled. So as you can see, all of these daffodils ended up being 50 shades of yellow. But, you know, you just have to embrace it. It's the way of gardening. These are alliums here in the back, gladiator, and what's the other one? Sensation, I believe. And all of these blooms are potential nectarines. And I have to say, so far, I'm really, really loving the way that it's turning out. I mean, it does look very sparse. The soil is not the best yet. It's dealing with a whole bunch of things, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what is to come. And I think this space is going to be beautiful. I have a moonlit and Paris, I believe, rose. I think that's what it's called. It's this pinkish apricot with a little bit of yellow in it. I have some mammoth salmon sweet peas that I want to get on a trellis over here. I think it's just going to look so beautiful as a sea of pink sort of water falling down my hill here. And I almost forgot my grapevine, which is doing exceptionally well this year. I will go ahead and post a video of how I pruned it earlier this spring. And by earlier, I mean like a couple weeks ago, because it's literally April. I have it trellised against this fence right here, which seemed to work really well last year. So I'm excited to see what it does this year. Next is my little container garden. Now this is in the back sort of corner area, more of a traditional grassy yard, and we have a ton of work to do in this area, mostly because we do need a retaining wall on the side before we are able to finish our fence, and that is prohibiting us from putting in the evergreen hedge that we are so longing for. So for now, we are just doing some container gardening in this space to keep things fresh,
pretty and to be able to change it to see what we like in this space.
So the plan is in that space for the container garden to sort of see what I like in that space and also not to commit too much, because hopefully someday in the future when I'm a billionaire, I'd like to put a greenhouse over there, and then it'll be flanked by those gorgeous limelight hydrangeas given to me by Brianna. If you're on Instagram, her account is 1920 Craftsman. I have a little trio of trees in the corner, which I just think is adorable. So I'm really excited to see that space sort of transform. I'm trying to get it a little bit more uniform. I think last year you will have noticed there were a bunch of different types of pots and colors, and I didn't really love that. It looks a little messy to me. So this year I'm trying to go with one container look and then plant up a bunch of different things in them, which I think will look really cool. Here's to hoping. Let's check out the veggie garden because I'm really excited about it this year. I can't show you everything because there are some videos coming out in the next week or so here, so I don't want to spoil anything, but I can show you a couple of things that I have planted and some changes that were made.
So for those of you that don't know, I do work with Vego Garden now. You can find my affiliate link in the description box below, and I would so appreciate your support if you are thinking of adding one of these modular beds to your garden. It is at no extra cost to you, and so far I am loving the way mine looks in the color modern gray.
So here's the thing. Last year I attempted to grow some grass. You will have noticed in my final garden tour of the year, I said it didn't really work. So here we are again this year, giving it a go. It's going pretty well so far, so fingers crossed for me. We just overseeded some perennial rye. I believe it was, don't quote me on that, I'll have to check the bag. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I just got 2 new Vego garden beds to cap off my garden here. So now that means I have 8 garden beds in this space, and they are all ready to be planted up. We use a mushroom compost from a local nursery here. It's mushroom, compost, and topsoil mixture. And so all of the beds got topped off with that and worked up really well. This bed is full of garlic, and you would have seen me plant that up in a fall video for Diggs Gardening. I can go ahead and link that video as well if you're interested in seeing how I plant my garlic. And this garlic is from Fruition Seeds. This is my 2nd year using their garlic, and I loved it last year. And I saw this morning, apparently somebody was heavy-handed with the arugula. That somebody was me. It was me. I did it. Here's proof that I am winging my life. I have no idea what happened here with this asparagus, but it's giant, and I feel like that was my fault. I need to quit with the asparagus. Clearly it is not my forte. Every time I see that, I feel much better about not cleaning up my garden. All of this is looking very weedy to me, but to this bumble, it's looking pretty magnificent. And lastly, my cut flower garden is nothing to write home about right now. We have a couple of things popping up and growing on. Here is my Sarah Bernhardt peony, doing great. I think this, oh my gosh, those are buds. Hold up, oh man. Obviously, I did not know that these buds were here. There are so many of them. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This will be the first year that I see this peony bloom, and I planted it bare root the year we moved in. I probably should have gotten a support for it, but I've never seen it this magnificent, so I wasn't ready at all. Wow, I feel so nerdy out here by myself geeking out over this. Okay, y'all, the wind chimes are really doing their thing right now. That's gonna be it for me and my backyard garden tour for April. I will show you my front yard garden maybe in another video. There's not much going on out there right now other than some really pretty daffodils, so I'll go ahead and put those on a B-roll. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting things cleaned up, maybe a little bit more presentable for the next garden tour. And thanks for hanging out with me anyway. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.